Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be a pretty quick video. I just kind of wanted to get this out there, put it out into the universe so that I can actually follow through with this. But these are 5 books that I will be trying to reread in the year of 2020, which is a lot of time. And also most of these books are pretty short. But I don't know, I've never really reread books before. I just kind of read it and put it on my shelf and call it a day. And I don't know, I've been looking at my bookshelf lately and thinking like, you know, some of these books I seriously have no idea what they're about, and a lot of them I consider some my favorite books, and so it just doesn't really make sense that, you know, I consider them my favorite and I can't even remember what they're about. So this year I'm making it a point to reread them. The first one is kind of just a loner, and it's a book that I read kind of recently. I think I read it in high school. And it's on my favorites shelf, and I don't really remember what happened in it. It is 1,000 Splendid Suns by Khaled Hosseini, and I also read The Kite Runner, that's also in my favorites, and I read this and I remember loving it. I think I even did a review on it, and I just don't remember what it's about, and I hate that. So I will be rereading this. Again, it's a shorter book, so but it is the longest of this list, so maybe I'll read this in like a really slow month when I don't really have any other books to read. I will open this one and reread it because I think it deserves that. So that is the first book I will be rereading this year. Kind of going along with my favorites, in my favorite stack is Half Broke Horses by Jeanette Walls. She also wrote The Glass Castle, which is my second favorite book of all time. I know what happens in that book, so this is a true story about her grandmother, Lily Casey, growing up in Texas at the turn of the century. And again, I don't really remember what happens in her life, and it's really small, but I know it's one of my favorite books, and I know I need to reread it and refresh my memory about what happens in here. So very, very eager to get into this one. I'll probably reread this one first just because I really want to remember what happens in it. So, last one going along with my favorites is, of course, The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. I read this, I can't even remember when I read this. I think early high school I read this book, and of course it's a classic. Of course, everyone and their mother has read this book or saw the movie. Everyone talks about it still. And I read it, it's one of my favorite books, and I don't remember what happens in it. Reoccurring theme of this video, but I can't believe how small this book is. Like, I forgot how tiny it is and how big of an impact it had. I think it'll do me a lot of good to read this again. So, Perks of Being a Wallflower on the list. And so these last 2 books I want to talk about are pretty much the only 2 books that I have on my bookshelf, like from my childhood, that I've kept, you know, over the years, over all the moves and the book unhaulings. I've gotten rid of pretty much every childhood book except for these 2, and I don't know why. Something subconscious just wants me to keep these books, but I do not remember what they're about in the slightest. So the first one being Olive's Ocean by Kevin Hanks. I do remember this being like one of my favorite books as a kid, and I don't know anything about it. It's really tiny, it's really old. It's obviously kind of more of a young teen child book, but it's on my shelf for a reason, and I want to know that reason. So, Olive's Ocean. And then the last book is Kira Kira by Cynthia Kadohata. Don't remember in the slightest. And this one has like huge text. It'll be a quick read. But again, for some reason, I've kept these books all these years, and I want to know why. I've also seen some other booktubers videos and like looked at their bookshelves, and a lot of people have this book. So apparently I'm doing something right by keeping it, because apparently a lot of other people love it as well. So I just think it's so funny. Also, this one is like a Scholastic book, so I probably got this at some sort of book fair growing up at school, and I just love thinking about the books that we grew up with and the books that made us fall in love with reading. And mainly I wanted to make this video to kind of see what books you guys still have on your bookshelves from your childhood and you don't remember why they're there. And maybe, you know, this is the year you reopen it and learn why you love it so much. And I just think it's so funny that, you know, over the years we grow and our reading tastes mature, but for some reason, you know, some of these books just stay. And these really are the only books from my childhood. I still have Old Yeller and Boy in the Striped Pajamas. And I think those are like the only kind of more juvenile books that I own. So also growing up, my favorite series was Junie B. Jones. I lived for her. And I was like, where did all those books go? Because that is seriously why I love reading, is because of Junie B. Jones. You know, we have the same last name. I was like, she's my sister. We're besties. And I asked my mom last night, I was like, where are all those books? Because I seriously had every single one. She's like, it's somewhere in the garage. So that's going to be my plan this week, is to try and find those books again. Because it's just bringing back so many memories. Anyways, total rant. I'm sorry. I'm really excited to get into these this year and kind of relearn their stories. So I hope you guys do the same. I hope you guys pick out some books to reread this year. And I just think it's so exciting and it makes me excited to read. And I think that's really important to keep that alive. So anyways, that's it for my video today, guys. I hope you enjoyed and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.